Welcome to my studio. Hi friends, let's talk about sketchbooks. Why do we need them? Why do we want them? What are they? Sketchbooks come in all shapes and sizes. I'm going to show you some of mine and why I love them. When you're starting out in watercolor, acrylics, whatever it is, probably not pastel, but watercolors, acrylics, you'll see I've got some acrylics that I've done here in this one, and took a little class, got some of those, just kind of started messing around with it. And then I started adding some watercolor, just little here and there, just some crazy stuff, different scenes. So this is one I've started. Then we've got this one here that you can see I just put a little color wheel in there. I was trying some different, probably some brushes, or probably a water brush or something, different types of paints that I'd found, some different techniques that involved using even some watercolor pencils, just gel pen to see how that would do on there. Stuff I just do while I'm waiting for my car, for my oil to change, some ink work. So there's another one that I started, and you'll see this is a different one than this. Same thing, kind of little. They both have 140 pound, 100% cotton paper in them, which is perfect for watercolor. Here's another one that I started. I think this is my Winsor & Newton. Yeah, sometimes I even work upside down. I've got pages in here that are right side up, upside down, you name it. But just, you know, kind of just throwing cute little things in here from time to time, little sketches, whatever it is. I keep these all around the house. Everywhere I keep my little art supplies, like my tin here, I just have my little sketchbooks. You can buy them bigger, of course. Sometimes you can find really nice leather bound. You can find them all different shapes and sizes, really. I prefer to work in smaller ones. This is one that I've had for quite some time, and again, it's just a smaller version of, you know, it gives me the opportunity to come in here and just kind of play and practice and try different things. So sketchbooks can be really handy to get little ideas down of the scenes you might want to paint, certain types of color combinations for flowers, different techniques. This is a little pen and wash kind of a thing going on here, just some random putting paint on paper, and you know, just abstract, whatever it is that you want to play with. You know, you could be sitting in your garden and you can grab just a little bit of paint and a paintbrush and a little jar of water, and you can just start painting, just to have that daily practice, that little feel-good time that you give yourself to just play. So, and the reason so that's a third one that I have these all over the place. And you'll see a lot of tutorials about using sketchbooks, and some people think, why were you bothering to put something in a book? Well, it's because it's personal. It's something that you have, you know, you can take pages out, which, you know, now that I think about it, there was one of the ones in here. My neighbor really liked my dandelions. So I've got to remember to take this out and maybe send it to him in a birthday card or something. And you know, it's just like this door here. I was practicing trying to do some different old doors, so I practiced in here. I wanted to practice doing some background colors, flowing them into one another, and yet still have a focal point. So I mean, it's just whatever it is, trying to get some little architecture. So I'm not going to waste a big piece of paper that, you know, sometimes those can be very expensive. Sometimes I will take my washi tape, this is an example here, and outline where I'm going to be working within there. You'll see I've got where I taped off the edges on this one. I love looking through here because it just reminds me of the progress I'm making. It contains a lot of little jewels of things that I've done that I might want to try again. So the beauty of the sketchbook. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you will take the time to find yourself or make yourself a little sketchbook to kind of use to practice with your watercolor or acrylic or whatever it is that you want to do, even if it's just ink or it is, and speaking of ink, I had meant to show you, even if it's just a graphite drawing. But sometimes when you've got something, which I'm not, this was just, didn't really care for it, but I have this is a pigment liner, and a lot of people will have these, or they will have the more expensive, the micron pens, and these are wonderful because what I can do very loosely is I can come in here and start really pulling this together. It's in a sketchbook. There's no stress. This is, like I said, it's very personal. It's very safe. It's a safe place to just kind of put your own little things in here to experiment and just kind of make it something different. Can you see how just adding this loose kind of a structure is completely transforming something that you might have given up on? And now when you start to just kind of, very, very loosely, I'm not following these lines very well. I may add one where there wasn't one. It just depends on how I want to do it. And I'm pulling out things that were lost because of the way that the paint had gone on. But you can see how just adding that little bit of pen has now transformed what was otherwise a dull little flower that I just forgot about. And now it's got more vibrancy, it's got some life and movement to it, and it's better. So I could do that with this. I could do that with, just about anything else that I have in one of my books. These are very handy to have. You can get a white gel pen as well. So if I wanted to add some additional highlights on some of this, I could just as easily with the gel pen do the same thing. It's just, your tools are going to be things that you should be able to have around you at all time. I have my little gold tin with my little gold colors. If I wanted to, in those background leaves, I could throw some gold, or I could speckle it with gold. But anyway, sketchbooks are fun. Get yourself a sketchbook, start working in it, or make yourself one. Very easy to do, as you see, and these can be really, really handy to have around. All right, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's Friday, and I appreciate spending the time with you. Thank you so much. Take care.